Story time about how my mama was a child bride. So my mama was about 14 when she met my dad, and my dad was about 40 when he met my mom. So my mama ended up going to a grocery store with her friend's mom, and that's where my dad spotted her at. She had on a cute little dress, and apparently he liked the dress because he wrote on a little letter and put it on my mama friend's car that he liked her little dress and to call him. So my mom ended up calling him. She said that she thought that he was younger than what he was, and my dad said he thought that she was older than what she was, but so they started hanging out or whatever, like really just kicking it. My grandma was working all the time, so she really wasn't paying attention to my mama or whatever, and she had other kids and stuff, so it was just like, my dad worked for this company, so I guess they told my mama that my mom was just working with my dad. But a year later, she was pregnant. That's not even the crazy part. My mama said she ended up telling my daddy her age, and my dad ended up lying about his age and saying he was like in his 20s or early 20s or something like that, something around there. And my mom did not find out how old my dad really was until they was at a store one day, and she accidentally seen his ID, and then she started doing the calculations like, how old are you? Y'all, this story gets so crazy, you wouldn't even believe what go down.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me.
This is part 2 of my mom being a child bride. So at this point, we know that my dad is 40 years old. My mom is only 14 years old, and she's pregnant. The way that my mama found out she was pregnant was my dad told her. She used to be at his house all the time, and he was like, you haven't had your period. You're pregnant. Made her take a test, and lo and behold, yeah, she was pregnant. Y'all, why my daddy dropped my mama off back at her mama house and told my granny that she was pregnant? Didn't say who it was by. Didn't say nothing. Just said, you know she pregnant, right? My mama just looking at my daddy like. And my mom ended up telling my granny that she went to a party and somebody roofied her and she don't know who the daddy was. When clearly it was my dad. Like, she already knew. But my granny thought that they was just work friends and whatever the case may be. But how do you think that they work friends if my mom is 14 years old and this man is a grown adult? This is part 3 of my mom was a child bride. So at this point, we know my daddy is 40 years old, my mom is 14 years old, and my dad just told my mom that she's pregnant. And then he went and told my granny that she was pregnant, but didn't tell her who the daddy was, even though he was the daddy. So my granny ended up telling my mama like, hey, you should just go stay with whoever the daddy is. And my mama was just like, you know what? I am about to leave. And she left. So at this point, my mom is staying with my dad full time, and she got her own car. He bought her a BMW, and she had the apartment to herself most of the time because my daddy was working full time. So throughout her pregnancy, my mom and my granny wasn't talking at all. So fast forward to the point where she's about to have me, and my mom and my dad is getting into it about what my name gonna be, because my mom wanted to name me Zoria and my dad wanted to name me Ejon, but my mom was like, that's a boy name, I don't like that. And my dad was like, well, I'm finna leave this hospital if you don't name this little girl Ejon. And mom was like, fine, what about Ejonay? And he was like, fine, Ejonay, cool. That was like a piece of manipulation that made my mama start looking at my daddy like. This is part 4 of my mom was a child bride. So at this point, y'all should know that my dad was 40 years old when they met. My mom was 14. She got pregnant at 15 and she had me at 16 at this point. So my mom started noticing little stuff that she didn't like about him, and it was starting to piss her off. He was gone all the time. She had a newborn baby and she was just sick of his ass. So at this point, she getting suspicious like, why are you gone all the time? You say you at work, but come on now, where the money at? So she ended up going through his phone and she found a number in his phone that he had called on a landline, because you know it's back in the day they got landline. So my mama ended up finding the nearest payphone, calling the number on the payphone, and finding out that this is this man's wife. So my mama ended up giving the address to this lady, and this lady pulls up on us. Mind you, I ain't nothing but like 6 months. My daddy was at our home, laying on a recliner with me in his hand. Mind you, like I said, I'm nothing but a baby. Laying with me in his head. She walks through the door and said, is this your daughter? Is this your daughter, John? He's sitting there in a daze because he knocked out sleep like, my mama like, That's his baby. That's his baby. This is part 5 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So y'all know that the lady just pulled up on us, and she asking him, is this his baby? And he ain't saying nothing to none of them. Mama like, yeah, that's his baby. That's his baby. Baby, he is lost from words. Cat got his tongue. She pulled up with this girl that was the same age as my mom. Mind y'all, this lady is like 40-something herself. I'm like, wait a minute, who is this? And why you bringing her with you? The whole time we found out that this is this man's daughter too. So you got a daughter my mama age? So she continues to keep on asking him. She gets tired at that point because he ain't saying nothing. He just looking like. She leaves, and my dad just started talking to my mama like, oh, I don't love her. I only married her to get her green card. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. My mama was like, oh, your ass is done. But then he started telling her, oh, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. You got this baby. Like, you gonna need my help. Ain't nobody gonna help you. Your mama didn't put you out. You don't talk to nobody. You got a couple friends. You only 16. So that made my mama feel small. So she really just started thinking about it like, yeah, I got my car over here. I got my apartment. Ain't nobody really gonna help me. You was the only one helping me buying everything and stuff like that. And so she ended up staying. This is part 6 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So they getting back on good terms or whatever, and my daddy like, okay, I want you to meet my family. This is my nieces and my nephews and a couple of my friends. So they starting to stay at our house and stuff, and like they're starting to be around a lot more. And mom like, oh, okay, cool. Like they spending the night at the house. They been at the house for weeks or whatever. So my mama is cleaning out the closet one day, and she runs across a birth certificate that says my dad's nephew name on it with my dad as the parent under there. So my mama looking at this birth certificate like, how you the daddy if this supposed to be your nephew? Ain't this supposed to be your brother, babe? What? My mom goes up to my dad's nephew and says, is that your daddy? He said, yeah, he told me not to tell you. So you got all these people around me and these is your children? Mind y'all, they all older than my mama. My mama is like asking him like, oh, is this your daddy? It's your daddy. Mind y'all, it was 2 girls staying with us and 2 boys. They were all his kids, y'all. They were all his freaking kids. This is part 7 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So at this point, my mom knows at least 6 of these kids that came over here was all of his children. She didn't find out that she was a side chick. Lied and said that I was his first baby. We know that wasn't true. But she still hasn't left because he didn't tell her that she really don't have nobody, and she really don't have nobody but herself and him. And me, of course. So you know what she does? She starts following him. Come to find out that this man has a whole nother girlfriend and a whole nother apartment. So you know what my mama do? She goes into that apartment, sets the couch on fire, trash the whole apartment. She tears everything up, and I mean everything, the whole apartment. They ended up getting kicked out of the apartment. So my mom is still underage. She's not 18 yet. She going through it because she can't leave. She want to leave. She tired of his mess. She can't go to my granny house because my grandma didn't want her there with a baby. It was just so much for her. So my mama dealt with it until she turned 18. But Lord, when she turned 18. So my mama 18 at this point, and she got a plan, baby. And her plan is to get the fuck. So at this point, she go get her driver's license. And once she got her driver's license, she went and got her apartment. She didn't tell him she went and got her apartment, but she did go get her apartment. She walks in their apartment one day, and she start packing her stuff, getting all her stuff, moving stuff around. My daddy like, what you doing? Where you going? She like, oh, I got my own apartment. I'm finna go. When I tell you that man was mad, I mean furious. He like, what you think you, Yeah, I remember how I told y'all he bought her a BMW. He told her, how you gonna get to your new apartment without a car? How he took the car from my mama. My mama was like, I don't care. Take it. That's fine. I will get a taxi to my new apartment if I got to. I'm getting away from your ass. This is part 8 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So at this point, my mama 18. She litty. She done got away from this man. But not really. This man is popping up every 5 seconds to her apartment. He is begging him to leave her alone, but this man is not budging. Mind you, he already got 10 other girlfriends and a wife. So my mama started handling his ass. She leave him out in the rain, make him knock for hours and hours. At one point, she put gasoline in a water gun and sprayed it all over him and told him if he don't leave, she was going to set him on fire. Somehow, my daddy didn't got in touch with my granny, who literally is 2 years older than him. And he was just telling my granny that he just loved her so much, and she 18, and he know he did wrong, and he just loved her so much, and he's so sorry. And my granny called my mama trying to convince her to get back with him. I mean, my granny was totally convinced that this was a changed, married man. He said that he was going to leave his wife and marry my mama, and my granny thought that that was the best idea for my mama. Mama is still 18 at the time, so my mom is like kind of falling for it at this point. Like, okay, you have been trying, you've been coming over here a lot, you've been doing your thing, okay. Grandma in her ear like, okay, like, yeah, you should take him back, he's a good man, he take care of you, he been taking care of you for years, and da-da-da. For the longest, my mama wasn't going for it, and then she started going for it, Lord. Then took a card and gave her an 85 hoopty. That was supposed to be him making amends. So my daddy ended up convincing my mama to go to our family reunion in Louisiana. And that's when all hell break loose. So they go on a little family trip to Louisiana, and guess what they end up doing? She got pregnant again. But while she was in Louisiana, she found another one of his kids. Lord! And that heifer gonna tell her that I was too pretty to be his baby. And she ended up telling my mama about her other sister. So now, instead of 6 kids, there's like 9. We don't even know how many at this point. This is part 9 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. Y'all, this lady done got pregnant again, Lord. She finding out that he got more kids. Just keep finding them when she go through her phone. Just keep finding them, keep finding them. There's more females. Still got a wife. There's another apartment. It's getting so bad to the point where when my daddy go to sleep, he would take his SIM card out his phone to make sure that she don't find nothing when she go through his phone. So at this point, she 2 kids in, and she didn't convince herself that she was never going to get away from him because she didn't want her kids to have different daddies, and it was a lie. She was like already going through it with him. She had been with him since she was 14 years old, and she don't know nothing else. So she's like basically getting numb to the point where she don't feel nothing that he do. Like, it still hurt, but it don't hurt as much as it used to hurt. So the lease is up, and they ended up moving to the secret apartment that he had because he had another secret apartment on top of the secret apartment that he already had. Mama going through the stuff again one day, and she finds a love letter of that he wrote to some female telling her how much he loved her and that he wanted to marry her and he wanted to be with her. But he was telling my mama that he wanted to marry her, he wanted to be with her, and he was professing his love to her, calling my grandma, getting on her nerves, making my grandma call my mama. Like, my mama is already fed the fuck up. She been fed up anyway. So she finds him and she starts ramming her car into his car because she knew he was finna go see another female and go do whatever he was gonna do. So she just kept ramming her car into his car. This is part 10 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So my mama ramming her car into his car and she's pissed. And he's sitting there apologizing like, oh, I wasn't finna do nothing. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. She's yelling, screaming, crying, like, I thought we was going to get married. Why this man tell my mama, oh, I can't divorce my wife right now because she has mouth cancer and I can't leave her until she gets well? What? Yeah, I knew he was lying. Like, but I'm not with her. I'm not with her. So he's starting to do things like take pictures with us. He would take us to Kima, take us to zoo. Like, he was just doing his big one. So one day, a female ended up calling my mama, talking about how my mama left her ID in my daddy's truck, and she was trying to figure out who she was. And my mama like, bitch, are you calling me, checking me about a man I've been with since I was 14? Like, what? She was telling my mama that she was driving their cars and how much she already knew about my mom and all of this and all of that. So through all that, my mama ended up getting pregnant again. She was already pregnant when a female called. She just didn't know yet. But she found out like a little bit after that. So now this is my mom's second attempt at leaving. At this point, she like, okay, yeah, I'm pregnant. This is our 3rd child together. I'm done. We're done. I'm about to go. And she moved back with my granny. My granny finally let her move back with her. She got a job. She was trying to get her life together so she can get on her own and stand up on her own so she wouldn't need my daddy help no more. So my daddy ended up finding out where my mama worked at, and he started popping up every day, and eventually he ended up getting her fired. He was telling her every day, coming up to her job, like, oh, you don't need to be working. You don't need to be working. I can take care of you. I can take care of you. I've been taking care of you. I can take care of you. But she didn't want that. She really just wanted to be on her own, but he would not let her. So, you know, she ended up getting back with him because she really felt trapped, like there was nothing else she could do but be with him. So they ended up getting an apartment together, and this man still did not stop his bullshit. He kept going, and she kept finding more females. And then mom was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm about to start dating. Baby, this lady started dating, and this man went crazy. This is part 11 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So at this point, y'all already know my daddy was 40 years old and my mom was 14 when they met. So everybody been asking me, where your mama? Parent reveal. So here she is, and she about to answer all the questions that was in the comments and everything y'all need to know.
So I'm the child bride. Of course I had to get on here and tell y'all the real nitty gritty. So let's go back and recap a little bit about this BMW. First of all, it was a BMW 518 IS. It was a 95, and it was actually his wife's car that he given me, and told this lady that her car was in the shop for like 2 years while I was driving this car. Okay, so everybody was wondering what type of work he was doing. He was a contractor for DirecTV. Yes, he was bringing those racks in. Tune in to part 12 where I start telling you just all the way that things started unraveling. While I was dating, I started school. This man became a stalker. I mean, he just would not let up and leave me alone. Like, I just felt trapped. I felt like I couldn't go anywhere. I just felt like this would never end because he just would not let up. He was like not letting me go.
This is part 12 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So at this point, y'all know that my daddy was 40 years old and my mom was 14 when they met. And this is her third time trying to get away from him. So at this point, she trying to date. But this man is not letting her date. Not for nothing. She would get a boyfriend or get somebody who she was talking to, and what would happen?
He would just be a stalker, and it didn't matter who I was dating. We were still together. It didn't matter what I did.
We might not be together today, but that's why I love. So my mama decided to go to cosmetology school, and while she was in cosmetology school, she got her a little boo.
Even though I had found me a little boo to her daddy, we were still together. So it didn't matter what I did.
So my mama be laid up in the bed with her new man, and my daddy will be in the bushes.
I mean, he'll be literally like looking through the windows, beating on the door, everything else. And like, boo will be like, you gonna answer the door? I'm like, no, I'm not about to deal with him. He know what it is. Like, I'm really handling his ass at this.
So at this point, this man is pulling up to my mama's school.
I already had told the people that he was a stalker. Anywho, he come up to the school and he persuaded one of the cosmetology students that he just really needed to see me, and found me like in the lunch area of the college that I was attending. He showed up with a pair of Jordans, and he also brought the ELIXIR back that he had taken from me. So I did take it back because I needed a ride. I mean, of course I have kids and I need to get back and forth. So
how did Boo feel about your baby daddy being crazy?
Well, Boo was really like a really great friend. So it wasn't like a relationship. It was more like a friendship that I met him and I confided in him, and he was easy to talk to, and he was just like there for me. Boo really wanted a relationship with me, but I couldn't give that to him at that time because I'm finding out that my baby daddy really is certified crazy, like legally on paper certified crazy. And I'm still dealing with the trauma from being a child bride. Although I'm dealing with the drama still from him, I'm like somewhat attached to him in a way that I don't even understand.
It's giving Stockholm Syndrome. This is part 13 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So at this point, y'all know she's surviving R. Kelly. My daddy was 40 and she was 14. So she let him back in.
According to him, I was never gone. Me and him getting into it about him not paying the bills, and I'm being suspicious like, where the money going? So I go through a whole search and look through his phone and found out that he was talking to another female. He was paying out her bills, had her baby in gymnastics. He bought her a new Tahoe. He bought her a 50-inch TV. So I'm like, okay, I got you. I'm leaving at this point. I'm getting in the car. I'm leaving. He trying to stop me. He jump on the hood of the car like that's going to stop anything. So I'm just like, I'm about to drive to the highway with him car. At this point, I'm certified crazy, okay?
So why he on the hood of your car? What is he saying?
No, please stop. You gonna kill me. Hello, 911. I'm on the hood of the car. She won't stop. I'm like, I don't care. Like, this is life. That's when God stepped in and he was like, you know what, pull over the car. So I went ahead and pulled over the car. But when I got out, I slammed that door so hard, that window just broke. I'm telling you, it shattered. I didn't care. So
he was still messing with you after that, though?
Yeah, he was still like, oh, you gonna come home, this, and that. No.
So the girl who was in, the girl who had the baby in gymnastics, was I in gymnastics?
No, I was so pissed off because I wanted you to do horseback riding classes and piano classes, and he was just making so many damn excuses about what he could and couldn't do. And I know he had the money, but when you're a trick, you can't afford what you need to afford when you have 18 households and 5 different.
So was that his baby too? Was that girl?
Oh, the world will never know.
So at any point, was there anybody else like out there to help you? Like brothers, uncles, cousins, like all this traumatic stuff was happening to you. Did anybody send help? So
once I got a certain age, like I was just on my own. I really didn't confide in anybody and tell anybody my business or what I was going on between us. But I did have friends, you know, but they were just like my riders. So whenever I wanted to get crazy and chase him down or tear up his stuff. Like, they was there to ride with me.
So your friends was helping you beat
That
him
was
up.
my riders.
This is part 14 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So I know y'all know my dad was 40 and my mom was 14 when they met at this point. Y'all should know. Y'all, we is 3 kids in at this point, and I'm wondering, like, y'all, why she kept on getting pregnant.
I didn't know what else to do. I just was letting him have his way. But I was a little disgusted by him, so it wasn't natural. I would be like drunk and stuff. Like, he would always come bring me a drink because I had kind of turned into an alcoholic at that point. I'm not even gonna lie. I used to drink all the time, and he used to bring me a good old drink. And it went down, whatever it was. You heard a lifetime. I woke up pregnant. That's what really happened. I was waking up pregnant. In the midst of all this drinking and dealing with him and the lies and all the craziness he had going on that I was dealing with, I was really tired of him. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, leave at certain times, leave. And he would take my keys to my car. He would take my cell phone. One night he took my cell phone and the keys to my car, and I was fed. So I'm like, I got you. I knew the things that would trigger him. So the security guard in our apartments, I was like cool with him. I went up to the security guard like, can I please use your phone? I used the phone to call his wife because I'm like, ma'am, can you please come get your husband? Can you please call him and tell him to bring my stuff? I said, you know what? My brother just got out of prison, and if he don't release my stuff, I will be sending my brother over to your house, okay?
And what did she say after that?
She said, she called him. She called him. I know she had to say something because he gave me my car keys back and he gave me my phone back and he left.
So have you ever been to my daddy wife house?
Yes, I've been there. I like followed him before, so I knew the location. I went back there one time. I didn't know it was the White House because he lied to me about this place. He had taken me before. I've never been in the inside, but he'd taken me to this place before to like pick up a car or something. But when I got there, I was like, okay, he has this alarm on his car where it only sounds in the inside, like on the keypad, but not the actual car has an alarm. So I was like touching the car to like see what apartment he was going to come out of. And then I seen him looking out the window and I went and knocked on the door. And that's when the wife answered. And I told her who I was, and she was like, he was asleep and, you know, XYZ. And she came out and we had a little small conversation, but that was about it.
So have you and his wife ever had like a real sit down, like woman to woman? Well, you was a kid, but
we didn't have a real sit down. She did express at one point that she felt sorry for me because like I was young and she knew that that was wrong. But she did say that he needed to choose between me and her, and I was like, ma'am, he doesn't have to choose. You can have him. Just please keep him over there. He won't stay over here. He keep coming back.
So was you an adult at that point? Or was you still a child? When she
at that
said
point,
choose?
when we had that, I was still like a teenager at that point. I think I was like 17 when she was like, he needs to choose between us. And I'm like, ma'am, I don't want him.
So did she have any other kids by him, or she just had that one that pulled up to the house with her?
Oh, no. She has, I think they have 3 kids together before me. But, I mean, he got kids the same age as her kids. So, apparently, he been cheating on her, like, the whole time.
Well, he did say for a green card. This is part 15 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So, y'all should know that my dad was 40 and my mom was 14 when they met. He got multiple kids, multiple apartments, multiple girlfriends, a whole wife with mouth cancer. Lord! So, once he left after he gave your keys and your phone, what happened?
Supposedly, he went and worked out of state. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where he was, but I just know he was gone and he wasn't bothering me, so I could care less. Like, I still had contact with him, but I wasn't dealing with him physically anymore. This went on for like, I want to say 2.5 years or something, where he would be gone for long periods of time. He would come back and I would let him come see the kids and stuff, but we really didn't have any dealing, so we weren't dealing with each other as far as intimate. But
so at what point did you get pregnant again with the last child that you have of his?
Oh God. So he ended up coming back one time, and like he still got some small control over me. I don't know why, but he does. Like, so he come back, he has like a platinum ring, he has flowers, it's Valentine. So
Scorpios.
He set up all of this whole little shebang for Valentine's Day, and I fell for it. Like, I did. I don't know why. I really can't explain to you why. I don't know. He just had me shook. I don't know. He just had me like it was nobody other than him.
So at any point, like when you was getting pregnant by him a lot, did you ever think about terminating any of the pregnancies? Because you had already been through so much trauma with him. So did you ever think about like, no, I'm done. I don't want no babies.
But well, I don't want to talk about what I did. I want to talk about what he did to me. I am the victim.
This is my story. If he wanted a different result, he should have treated you better.
I aborted one baby. I mean,
this is part 16 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So at this point, we 3 kids in and 1 on the way.
So I'm in Six Flags. I took my daughter to Six Flags for a little vacation. I was all hormonal. I was having an attitude. Got into it with somebody. So I'm realizing something is off. I realized I'm pregnant. But I also realized, I don't want to be pregnant by this man again. I don't want to deal with this. And I'm embarrassed to even tell anybody I'm pregnant by this man again. So I hashed out this plan in my mind that I'm going to tell him that I'm really pregnant by my little boo. Because I'm still friends with my little boo. Yeah.
So how did your little boo feel about this? Like, he was with it?
He went along with it. Like, it was cool and everything. But what I did know was the outcome after, like, so I decided, like, late at night, I got up the courage to, like, text my baby daddy, like, hey, I'm pregnant, you know that, but it's not by you, it's by boo. When I tell you, I literally probably closed my eyes and went to sleep and woke up to him bamming at the door, and I just opened the door and didn't even think, half sleep, opened up the door. When I tell you, he snatched me up out that house and choked me out so to the point where I thought I was going to lose my life. I had to fake like I was dead.
So was this the only time he put his hands on you?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that was like the line because I was like the Ike in a relationship. I would just play grit ball. I used to spray air freshener in his eye and hit him upside the head with pans and stuff.
Okay.
It was that one time where I wasn't being violent. It was the time that I was leaving. And this man literally put his whole mouth on top of my mouth and bit down. Like, crazy. Once he released me from the chokehold he had me in, he was trying to get me to get in the car and leave with him. But at this point, I'm, like, scared because he's not even the person that I recognize at this point. You know, I told you before that, like, he's legally certified crazy. So I don't know what he trying to do to me at this point. Take me in some woods and chop my body up. I don't know what his plan is, but I'm not trying to get in the car with him and leave and go anywhere with this man at this point. But he tried, and I convinced him that it was all good or whatever, and he let me go. You know what I'm saying? My neck was I was a little, you know, for a while, but...
So did y'all talk after that? Like, after he did that and, you know, he calmed down, because obviously he was pissed. What... Like, did y'all talk?
So, I don't even know what to call the type of person he is because, like I said, it didn't matter what I did or what I said. He just still was not going to leave me alone. So he ended up being okay with it, but when the baby came, he got a little suspicious and he was just like, that's my baby. I know that's my baby. So, that lie didn't hold up long, but... yeah, he found out that she was his. I went ahead and admitted to him or whatever. And that was that. Back in the rotation of dealing with the crazy man.
The crazy thing about this whole thing is she really gave him boo name.
I did. The last name. I did. It was a while before the truth came out. But I gave... because I just really, really, really didn't want him to be the daddy. So I gave my baby another last name. You know, young, you know.
Petty.
Being petty. I did. It is what it is. She had 3 daddies.
This is part 17 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So y'all know that my daddy was 40 and my mom was 14 at this point. She done had 3 kids by him and she's pregnant with the 4th kid. They done had the 4th baby at this point and she gave the 4th baby a different last name because she did not want it to be my daddy's, but it was my dad's. So, at what point were you guys done officially? Like, was it after you had the 4th baby, or like when were y'all officially done?
Okay, like I said, in his mind, we were never done. Okay, but he did go. He was working out of town a lot, So I wouldn't see him often. He'll be gone like months to years at a time, where he was just gone, and he would send money and everything. But we weren't intimate. It was just conversation on the phone, like how the kids, he'll send money. I ended up going to school for criminal justice. So I was going to school and working, and I ended up meeting somebody. So I'm talking to this person. We vibing real good, and I'm like, he might be somebody that I could settle down with, because I've never really had a real relationship with anybody. I mean, I can't say that the relationship with her father was a relationship, being that he had a wife already.
And then you were 14 and he was 40.
Right. So I finally met somebody that I thought, like, hey, this might be something real. So I was serious about this guy.
And you're talking about your now husband, right?
My now husband.
Period.
But
and then he's the right age too. He ain't that much older than her.
Right. Okay.
2 years probably.
But here her daddy come back in town with a U-Haul in front of my house, talking about, I want my family back. What? You want your family back? I'm like, dude, you need to move. You need to go. He was like, I don't have nowhere to go. I don't have nowhere. I'm back from working, and can I just stay here? And I'm like, ugh. I'm so used to dealing with him, so I did let him come into the house and stay. But I'm like, I got a boyfriend. Like, I seriously got a boyfriend, so you gotta go. You gotta move this trailer. This cannot be in front of this house. It's like deed restrictions here. You cannot have this U-Haul just in front of my house. You gotta go. So I would just be like, well, since you here, watch your kids. I'm about to go on a date. I'm about to leave with my boyfriend. So I would be leaving him there or whatever.
So how did your boyfriend feel about your baby daddy pulling up?
I tried to hide it because I just couldn't explain it. And I thought I was like done with that part. Like, I was not expecting for him to pop up like that. But he was just like, oh, I don't deal with this type of stuff. So you either gonna deal with that situation, or it's just gonna be me. Like, and I've never had anybody just be like, hey, I'm not dealing with that. Him staying over there sometimes, him in, him out. No, this man was like, no, if that's your situation, you deal with that and not deal with me at all. But I'm not having it. He was not having it.
So this is about 9 years later, right? 9 to 10 years later at this point.
But 3 years after the last baby was born.
So 3 years after, but y'all, you've been trying to be done with him since the second baby.
Yeah.
Okay. So after your boyfriend told you that he wasn't finna deal with all this extra stuff, what did you tell my daddy?
I told him he had to go, that I was really in a relationship, and of course he didn't take me serious. But when he realized that it was real, because I'll be like sitting on the phone having a conversation with my now husband, and my baby daddy will be sitting on the other side of the couch, and I'll be looking at him like, yeah, he's sitting right here. He won't leave and things like that. So he started like, I did still have a car that was in his name, but I was paying the note on that car. Okay. He took that car. He took the TVs. I had a laptop that was in his name. He took that laptop. I was going to school.
Baby, he took everything.
He took everything.
He took our screen. He took our TV in front of us. I mean, like, packed it out the house in front. We crying and stuff like, Mama, where God is taking the TV? This man took the TV in front of us. Like, he did not give no, like, for real, y'all. Like, for real.
Yeah, he knew it was real at this point.
Was it hard transitioning to a relationship, like a normal relationship with your now husband, then boyfriend? Because you've never been in a real relationship since, you was with a predator. I mean...
Right. It really was a hard transition. It was still, like, even though I thought I had got past a lot of stuff, because even though I was still dealing with my baby daddy, like, I didn't have no feelings attached towards him. It was just like a situation. So I've been had detached myself with feelings. But I thought I was healed, but you don't realize you completely that healed, especially now 3 years with all of the past drama I had been through since I was 14 and 10 years of that of my life. You don't fully heal. So I did go through a lot of things with being okay with being loved correctly and knowing that it's not fake, and just being open as far as my feelings and everything with this man. Like, I had to learn a lot. In this new relationship, I had to grow. Like, we had our problems because I was still pretty much messed up, damaged goods.
So once my daddy knew that this was serious, he done took everything. You have now moved in your boyfriend? You've now moved in your boyfriend or whatever. How is your boyfriend dealing with my daddy? Like, how was that?
Well, he doesn't have a problem with him, even though he, you know, everybody that I did even deal with who knew his age, they were like really upset about that. But I mean, that's the past. There's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, he was really trying to be like, you know, on some grown man stuff. Like, you can still come see your kids. I'm not trying to be in between you and your children. You know, whatever that needs to happen. But this dude here, he would be still like telling me he loved me. This is my baby daddy. Like, after he know like I'm already with somebody else, he would be like, you will always be mine. Meet up with me at the room. I mean, he would just be doing all kind of just being disrespectful. He just know what he does. Normally he does things and he know he can run somebody off. He know that he can get under people's skin by saying something. But see, he had met his match with this man right here. My husband right there, like, he really met his match with this one because he wasn't letting down. Like, no, we're not doing it.
Okay. So have your now husband, you know, then boyfriend, ever exchanged any words with daddy? Like, did they ever exchange any words? Because, you know, daddy was, like, real possessive over you. Real possessive. He would never let you go. So, like, did you know, your now husband, did he ever, like, have to check daddy? Like, you need to get yourself together. This is mine, and you gonna have to go on about your day.
I don't think it was ever a checking because my husband always tried to come to him as a grown man. Like, you know.
Well, you know, my daddy been a grown man for all your life, so.
But, I mean, he's... I mean, the age. But, yeah. I mean, when you're dealing with a 14-year-old, how much of a grown man can you really be?
Right.
A real man, you know. Everybody has their issues. I don't really know what his, you know, are from his past or why he even would consider being with a 14-year-old. I don't know if this is a thing. Maybe not, you know.
So, currently in your life right now, are you happy? Do you feel more healed?
Oh, yes, very much. I'm, like, very much healed. I don't even think about the past. Like, it took a long while. Even, you know, I've been married for going on with, I believe it'll be 8 years this year. In July, I've been married for going on 8 years, I want to say. But it's taken a lot through this relationship for me to be healed. Like, I've had to really find myself and really forgive all the things that, you know, I had went through in order to be, you know, great in this relationship. And I'm still learning. It still takes time. It's still a lot of healing going on because of, you know, it was a lot. It was a lot of trauma. So, but I'm happy now. I'm happy with my now husband. He's a great man. He's great to my children. From the beginning, he's always been great to my children. And we're just moving forward in life. We're both growing together. You know, we've both dealt with trauma, my husband.
And she does not deal with my daddy at all. Cut off cold turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Not a phone call. Don't ask him for money. The kids can deal with him on his own, on their own. Well, if we want to talk to our daddy, we can talk to our daddy. She never bash our daddy in front of us. She never say anything bad. If we want to talk to our daddy, she let us talk to our daddy. But she also just tell us the real too. So.
Yeah, well, I told her, like, of course, this is my firstborn, so we were like besties.
I mean, yeah, we only like 8 years apart. This is part 18 of My Mom Was a Child Bride. So everybody is asking me for pictures of my dad, so I'm about to show y'all one. Also, I want to explain to y'all a couple things that I've been seeing in the comments. So people are wondering how it go from 14 to 16. So my mom and my dad at 14. She got pregnant at 15. She had me at 16. We've already said it, but my dad worked as a contractor for DirecTV, so he had a lot of money on. I seen a comment about his wife. They're still married to this day and they live together. They're good. And no, she does not have mouth cancer. So in total, my dad has about 26 or 27 kids, somewhere around there. So for the people that's wondering about my grandma had her own little stuff going on. Anyways, so let's get into these pictures. So here is one picture. My mama got by a swamp boy. And she just sent me. Here's another one. He's just a man from Louisiana.